It's now time for Me and My Roku with host Peter Clay. Roku Channel merges cord cutting.
So I told my guy Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Pete, you are not.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another rousing edition of Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. It's another crazy week. Lots going on. Conglomerates merging. Ad-supported networks just keep adding stuff and competing, and it's just crazy out there. Stock market going down and up and everywhere. Wow. We'll get to some of that and maybe more. Who knows? This is a me show, all right? This is something that I did years ago. I cut the cord. That doesn't mean everyone has to. It's just what I did. And if that inspires anyone to do something what they want to do, that's up to them. I just tell you what I do with my Roku, and that's fantastic. Maybe for the world. Who knows? The Roku is basically a metaphor. It's just something that I could take control of. I took control of my media. I did that years ago with podcasts, and then I did with my TV as well. And for the podcast, it was easy with the podcast app from Apple, and on the TV side, it's just made easier with the Roku. That's me. If you do something different, that's fine, but hopefully maybe you get something from me, and if you want to send me some of your things, you can do that. You can email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. Lots going on, so let's get started.
Feel it, get up, come on.
Woohoo! All right, let's get started. Let's have some fun. The beautiful thing about the Roku is, doesn't matter if you're a cord cutter, cord shaver, or cord stayer. It's really agnostic, and I'm agnostic to anything. Now, for me, I cut the cord. That was just something I did. And last week when I got kind of deep in the weeds of the things that I did, well, that was over a 10-year span of what I've done. So it's just didn't happen. I just didn't wake up and, let's get gift cards for this and gift cards for that. These are just things I realized along the way. So that's another reason why I pop up ideas for you guys, and guys meaning people in general. I'm agnostic to that as well. But anyway, so this is all up to everyone's interpretation. And so when people throw stats at you, maybe they're doing so with trying to prove some sort of a point one way or the other. And some of it, all you have to do is just follow the money to see where some of this is going anyway. But anyway, there's some cord-cutting stats out there that say now that cable subscriptions are going down again from the hundreds of millions to roughly around 80, 85 million. And who knows? Who cares, really? Is all you need is a Roku to do what you want to do. Again, you're in control. If you want to be. If you don't want, there's no shame in that. If you want your cable TV and pay your $200 a month to have every TV hooked up to something and paying that rental on the box, even if you're not using it, you don't have to. Or you can if you want, but you don't have to. You can get one Roku and completely cut and go from there and just move it around to each TV if you want, or get another one if you want as well. Doesn't matter. So anyway, the numbers will suggest different things, and who knows what that means. Like PlayStation View tends to rank less as subscribers go, but yet PlayStation has the second most devices next to the Roku. So something's got to give there a little bit. Or does it? Does it even matter? So don't get convinced. It's all up to you, son. Some people are going to be out there and naysayers and say, well, what do I need to cut the cable for? How do I get live sports and all that stuff? You just look at it from what you need for yourself, and you can decide for yourself what programming you actually really need. So when I look at it and I do the math, you can get your internet, and however you get that, you can get that even if you want to jerry-rig your phone if you have unlimited on that, and then just stream it over to the Roku. You can do that as well. And if you have T-Mobile and their binge on program, you get your PlayStation View or Netflix, it doesn't charge you data for that. Or if you have an unlimited plan from some of the other carriers and just kind of belly your way, or what's the term for that? I can't think of it off the top of my head. Anyway, you're listening to a podcast. You know what I'm trying to say. So anyway, that's the gist on that. So it's totally up to you. I'm just telling you what I do. Okay, big news. The Roku Channel, the free ad-supported channel for your Roku that comes right with your Roku if you want it. A lot of it's on the featured free tab, but that also has its own app. Has added 5 new free live and linear channels, making them available and making those options up to 30 linear, live, or whatever linear means to them. I guess they're all in a line along the Roku channel page. So that's there for you. So the ad-supported wars. So you think with Netflix and Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus and HBO Max, you think the big boy subscriptions are going at it. The ad-supporteds are just going crazy. And now the Roku channel, which is only available on the Roku app or on the Roku, it's just crazy. So, and Roku stocks just going through the roof, up almost 60% for the year. And we came on back in the podcast in May, and it's up about 35-40% since then. So coincidence? I don't know. Anyway, I looked at the Roku channel and these new channels. Here's the 5 that they just added. The Fubo Sports Network, the ACC Digital Network, USA Today, Now This, and Comedy Dynamics. Now, none of this is really exclusive. And so I went back and saw some of these on either Pluto or Zumo or Stir or some of these other things too. So nothing really exclusive, but it's one of these things. If you're a cord cutter and you have the Roku, here's one, they can put it as a one-stop shop. Now, is it technically? No, it's on other things as well. But if you just want to keep it simple, it is there for you. A lot of these have their own apps as well. Comedy Dynamics has been around for a long time, has its own ads and stuff too. So it's basically who's going to get the ads. Who do you want to give the ad revenue to? So since you have a Roku, do you want to support Roku? Then just watch it on the Roku channel. If you like Pluto or Zumo or something like that, you want them to have the ad revenue, it's totally under your control, apparently. So a lot of these things are doing something. So I guess Roku is saying that they do things linearly. Pluto has the old grid style way of delivering content. And Zumo is kind of a little bit of both, kind of either on demand, Netflix style, or the grid as well. So it's totally up to you. So those options are there for it. So the long coming full circle around these things, if you want to cord cut and you need programming, you've got it. If you're a cord shaver or cord stayer, this enhances what you're paying all that money for because you get all the things, the cable networks that you're paying for, plus you can get all this additional content and you're paying the same price. You can look at it that way if you wish. So, once again, the choices are yours and plenty there with the Roku channel's new live and linear programming.
Oh, ooh, oh, yeah.
Okay, kids, time once again to say thanks. Not just to me. You don't have to thank me for doing what I do. I'm just doing it. And that's all right. But couldn't do it without our friends at archive.org. And by friends, I've never really officially met them or anything like that, but they have a wonderful service, and they've been providing the bandwidth for all my podcasts for a very, very long time, over 12 years. So, and all they've asked is that say, hey, can you throw us a buck or two every now and then, or can you say, hey, type of thing. The Internet Archive is just doing that, archiving the whole internet and doing different things as well, preserving data and music and movies and podcasts. So if you would like to consider it, please, I ask of you, only asking, just to check out archive.org and consider making a donation, or at least using the service and checking it out and seeing all the things they have to offer. It's just another way to look back and amaze at what they can do. So check them out today, please, at archive.org.
Yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, kids, I'll try not to have such a serious tone on this next topic, but in case you haven't noticed, or maybe you haven't noticed, or did you notice? Maybe. I'm asking the questions here. So maybe you've noticed that the stock market is doing this. It's going up a lot, then down a lot, and then up, and then down, and all around, and trade war, and recession, and all these different things. Lots of stuff going on, and hard to keep track of, and all that stuff. Or is it? You have a Roku. So there's different ways that you can kind of keep tabs of all these different things to keep an eye on the markets and all that stuff. And maybe you have an incentive on that, or maybe you just want to keep the knowledge, just maybe know a couple of things that maybe when maybe some of these things are telling you to panic, maybe you don't need to because you're informed because you have a Roku and different things. So a couple of things that I have on the Roku already is CNBC and Morningstar. CNBC is kind of like ESPN in a way. It's a necessary evil. It's there and they have a lot of different things, but a lot of the stuff is clickbaity type of things and stuff. So when things are down, they say, panic, oh my God, are you in big trouble? And all, blah, blah, blah. And when things are up, are they really good? Is the bottom about to fall and stuff like that? And so it's okay, so just take it for what it's worth and just use the information for maybe what you need. Do you go into a panic when you go to Walmart or Home Depot or something and see something on sale? No, you got to give me more of that. It's on sale. So that's sometimes how you have to think about these. Some of these things aren't always bad, and sometimes a great value. Sometimes you need to lower the value of something so that either you get more or you just create more value later on. It's one of those things, so don't worry about it. So CNBC, Morningstar. Morningstar is more short videos. I've talked about this before, and they go a little bit more in depth to these things. So you can pick a video that maybe is more towards your style and something like that. And one other thing I recommend on that is they also have a podcast that kind of compiles the videos as a podcast later in the week. So a couple other things then I just went scrambling around to find then. And a lot of these are on the ad-supported networks. Some of them, all of them, and some of them on just a couple. So like Cheddar. Cheddar's on pretty much every ad-supported thing, including even YouTube TV and a couple other ones as well. Or Sling TV even too. So that's the more millennial, laid back, business shirt and khakis type of style. And if you like that stuff, that's for you. Bloomberg has been out there for years and all that stuff. They have their own free app, but otherwise they show up on Pluto TV and Sling and a couple others. And then I also discovered, if I talk into the microphone here, Yahoo Finance. They were on the Roku Channel. They think they had their own app for a while there, but with the whole oath and all these different breakups and all that stuff, obviously they're on their own app on a mobile phone, but they were on the Roku Channel. So that's a couple of things there just to kind of keep an eye on the markets, make sure that your investments are safe, or at least giving you the information, all from your Roku.
Ooh, oh, 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 la, 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 yeah.
Okay, how about some comings and goings? What am I keeping on my Roku, and what am I getting rid of? Just in case you care. So, coming this week, I added the radio.com app for my Roku. Funny story, I got the email saying that the Me and My Roku podcast has been accepted into radio.com. Took a little while, but that's okay. Still haven't heard from Pandora. Anyway, I'm not keeping score. But anyway, on my phone, every time I would get on the app, it would crash every time I would search for it. So, what am I supposed to do? Well, there it is. There's the Roku app, and it worked perfectly. And there was the Me and My Roku podcast. So, you can check that out if you would like. I also added the CW app. It's a nice app, ad-supported, with shows on the network currently. There's also CW Seed. I don't have that presently, but that's also there's a difference between the two. But the CW I like to have every now and then, mostly for Penn and Teller, but also Whose Line Is It Anyway? Every now and then I need a good laugh. Isn't that strange? Also, and then this is kind of a come and gone. Briefly added the TNT app because we just had a fix to want to watch the show Castle, and we watched 3 or 4 episodes and then dismissed. But that's the beautiful thing about the Roku. You can be non-committal to these things. It's okay. Don't get me started about music streaming services. One's great, and then I'm on to the next one. So it's the same thing with apps. You can take them, and then you can leave them. Leaving on the going side, Amazon Prime. We had it for a month. I had an old Fire TV box, and I restarted it as a new box, refreshed it, factory restart, and got a month of Amazon Prime. And thank you, and then just decided to move on. But did have a nice day of binging of some shows over the weekend before it went. In the meantime, and then that also a casualty on that was Amazon Music. That had to go then too, because with Amazon Prime you get the Amazon Prime Music as well, and had the music app on there for a while. I do have the Amazon Prime app still, or the Amazon Video, whatever they call it now, because there's videos I've purchased in movies and different things like that. So I still have the app, but Amazon Music, that's totally gone now. Also, with Amazon Prime, though, I kept the app for that also, and then IMDb is ad-supported. But, boy, I tell you, that is hard to find. You have to go through all the different things before you can actually get to it. It has an exclusive of La La Land, which I still haven't watched yet, but there's some other good movies in Colombo. So a lot of the other ad-supported networks, they're all kind of the same programming. It's just who gets the ads revenue then. And with IMDb, Amazon's getting the revenue, but they seemingly has their own programming. Also, I got the NFL app, and I used my PlayStation View login, so that way I could watch NFL Network and some of the games, but it just came tedious in authenticating and in different things like that. So thanks, but no thanks. I'll just watch it on the PlayStation View app. So that's the comings and goings for this week.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
All right. So every now and then on a podcast, you want to do something a little different. Want to shake things up a little bit. So I'm adding a new segment on my radar. It's things I'm looking ahead to. Normally in this show, I only talk about the things I have because that's how I can talk about it. It's me and my Roku. So if it's on my Roku, I can talk about it. If it's not on my Roku, how can I talk about it? But last week, Disney announced that they were going to have a Hulu bundle of Hulu with ads, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus for $12.99. All right, so that was something I was looking forward to. It's on my radar, okay? So now, coming up in the fall here, TV shows are coming up, and we, in the past, have had CBS All Access. So that's on our radar. And now we hear the news that CBS and Viacom coming back together again. They were one once, then they broke apart for some odd reason. Then they realized, well, look what Disney's doing. Look what Time Warner's doing and AT&T and all this stuff. What are we going to do? We have all these shows over here, and we have all these movies and stuff over here. So now CBS All Access, Pluto TV, are they going to come together? Are all these different programming things all coming back together in as one, even including Showtime and Paramount and all these different things? So keeping an eye on my radar on that. So the goal is right now, when the TV shows start around the end of September, there's about 3 or 4 CBS shows that we get. So kind of like to watch them without commercials. So I get some Apple credits together, and boom, it doesn't really cost me anything other than the use of those credits. So one of the things that keeping on my radar there, because that could be a big deal. Now, it just could be a bunch of conglomerates and the Redstones just living it up large, or is it two old school things that the time has kind of passed on them too? We'll have to see. CBS All Access has done some good things, along with some original programming of their own. I haven't really checked them out. I didn't check out The Twilight Zone, and I haven't, maybe I'll look at Picard when that comes out, and I haven't watched Star Trek Discovery either. So hard to discuss when I haven't had it, but those are different things that's going on. So keeping an eye on CBS All Access for that. Well, whew. I feel like I kind of rambled a little bit today. You tell me what you think. You can email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. And maybe you said, hey, you gave me some things to think about, and that's good stuff. And all that good stuff. So that's all I've got for you this time. I'm going to have to take a breather. Maybe for another week or two. And then we'll see what's going on from there. And maybe I've calmed down and I can discuss things more. So, but thanks to archive.org for all that they do. Check them out at archive.org. We thank them for supporting us. And by we, I mean me. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, iHeartMedia, and Radio.com. All in one breath. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction. You can send me a note over there and say, hi, how you doing? Folks, I hope you're enjoying you and your Roku as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku. And I'll check in with you real soon.